You are sitting on your comfortable living room couch. A sudden, clear thought hits you. You need your car keys from the kitchen. You get up off the couch. You walk down the quiet hallway. You step across the wooden threshold into the kitchen. You stop dead in your tracks. You stare blankly at the kitchen counter. Your mind is completely, utterly empty. You have zero idea why you are standing in the kitchen. You open the refrigerator door, hoping for a clue. Nothing. You look inside a random cabinet. Still nothing. The thought has completely, cleanly vanished from your brain. You stand there feeling foolish, distracted, and mildly panicked. You wonder if your focus is breaking down. You worry that your memory is quietly deteriorating. But you are fundamentally, completely wrong. This infuriating mental wipeout is not a sign of a broken memory. It is a universal, highly engineered feature of human cognitive architecture. Psychologists have an official, scientific name for this exact phenomenon: the doorway effect. It happens across every culture, every age group, and every demographic on Earth. But why does a biological supercomputer capable of storing decades of complex skills suddenly erase a simple 10-second intention just because you walked through a wooden frame? Why does your brain wipe your working memory the exact moment you cross a threshold? To understand this cognitive magic trick, you need to look at how your brain actually organizes time and reality. Your mind does not record your life as one continuous, unbroken video stream. That would require an insane amount of computational energy and processing bandwidth. Instead, your brain breaks your life into discrete, manageable chunks called event models. Think of your memory like a movie studio editing a film. A director does not use one single unbroken camera shot for an entire 2-hour movie. They cut the film into separate scenes. When a movie character walks out of a house and gets into a car, the editor makes a sharp cut. The old scene ends, and a brand new scene begins. Your brain does the exact same thing, using physical boundaries in your environment. Dr. Gabriel Radvansky, a leading cognitive psychologist at the University of Notre Dame, has spent decades researching how thresholds affect human memory. He conducted a landmark experiment to figure out if doorways physically manipulate our working memory. In his laboratory, participants carried a virtual box on a computer screen while navigating a simulated building. Inside the box was a virtual object, like a red block, a yellow triangle, or a blue sphere. As they walked, researchers suddenly quizzed them on what object was currently hidden inside their box. When participants walked across a massive, open room for a long distance, their memory of the object remained sharp, fast, and crystal clear. But the exact microsecond their virtual avatar stepped through a doorway into an adjacent room, their memory recall violently collapsed. They became drastically slower, hesitant, and prone to making glaring errors. Radvansky then recreated the experiment in the physical world with real rooms, real wooden boxes, and real physical doors. The results were staggering. Walking through a real doorway caused twice as much forgetting as walking the exact same distance across a single room. The physical distance traveled did not matter at all. The threshold itself was acting as a physical trigger for a total memory wipe. Radvansky's experiment proved that your brain perceives a physical threshold as a rigid event boundary. The moment your body steps into a new room, your prefrontal cortex signals a major scene transition. It effectively says, "Scene 1 is officially over. File it away. Scene 2 is starting right now." To prepare you for the new environment, your brain flushes its working memory cache. Working memory is your brain's temporary RAM. It has a very strict, extremely limited capacity. It can only hold about 4 to 7 items, or thoughts at a single time. If your brain kept every single detail from the living room floating in your working memory while you entered the kitchen, your RAM would instantly overflow. So, to keep your focus sharp and agile, your brain automatically purges thoughts from the previous room to make space for incoming information in the new room. But why would evolution build such a disruptive feature into our heads? Why are we biologically hardwired to erase our working memory when entering a new space? 50,000 years ago, stepping out of your tribe's safe cave into the open wilderness was a high-stakes transition. Inside the cave, your environment was predictable and secure. Outside the cave, the environment was wild, dynamic, and potentially dangerous. If your brain remained hyperfixated on a minor indoor task while you crossed into the wild, your divided attention could be fatal. Survival required your brain to drop indoor priorities the millisecond you crossed the threshold. Your prefrontal cortex needed to instantly dump temporary RAM, so your senses could fully scan the new environment. The doorway effect was built as an evolutionary environmental reset button. It forced your ancestors to become hyper-aware of their immediate surroundings every time they entered a new domain. Today, your brain still runs on this exact ancient blueprint. It does not realize your kitchen is completely safe. Stepping into a new room still triggers the exact same boundary reset as stepping out of an ancient cave. But there is another layer to why you forget your car keys specifically. It involves the hierarchical structure of your goals. Every action you take is organized in a complex hierarchy inside your brain. At the top of the hierarchy is your high-level goal. I want to drive to the grocery store. Below that is the mid-level goal. I need to get my car keys from the kitchen. Below that are the low-level motor actions. Stand up, walk forward, open door, avoid stepping on the rug. Normally, your brain focuses on executing the low-level physical steps while relying on working memory to hold the mid-level goal. But temporary working memory is fragile. As you walk down the hallway, your brain is bombarded with low-level sensory inputs. You dodge an object on the floor, look at a picture, or feel a draft of air. Each small sensory interruption consumes a tiny piece of your working memory RAM. By the time you reach the kitchen doorway, your mid-level goal, get the car keys, is hanging by a thin thread. You cross the doorway threshold. The brain triggers the event boundary purge. The thin thread snaps. The mid-level goal is dumped out of RAM to clear the stage for scene 2. Because your high-level goal, drive to the store, is stored deeper in long-term memory, you don't forget everything. You know you are supposed to be doing something important. You just lose the specific bridge that connects your body to the immediate task. You are left standing in front of the counter like a video game character whose player dropped the controller. Modern technology has created a brand new version of this phenomenon, the virtual doorway effect. Have you ever unlocked your phone to check an email, only to open another app and forget why you picked up your phone? That is digital scene switching in action. In modern digital interfaces, rapid visual transitions, popping notifications, and switching tabs act as artificial event boundaries. Every time a new screen loads or a tab switches, your prefrontal cortex registers as a scene change. It flushes your working memory RAM to prepare for the new digital environment. Without realizing it, you experience dozens of artificial doorway resets every hour just by navigating your screens. So, how can you stop this frustrating mental wipeout from happening in your daily life? Cognitive science offers 3 remarkably effective hacks. Hack number 1, the object anchor technique. Before standing up to leave a room, physically hold or touch an item related to your task. If you need your car keys, hold a metal key ring or mimic holding a key in your hand. Tying your abstract goal to a tangible physical sensation encodes the intention into your motor cortex. The motor cortex is far more resistant to doorway resets than temporary working memory RAM. Hack number 2, verbal encodement. As you walk toward the kitchen, repeat your goal out loud or in your head. Keys, keys, keys. Repeating the word out loud forces your brain's auditory loop to continuously refire the phonological sound files. This overrides the event boundaries signal and locks the thought into active awareness. But hack number 3 is where the real cognitive magic happens, the mental context reversal. If you cross a doorway and completely freeze, standing in the kitchen staring blankly at the counter will almost never bring the thought back. Why? Because your working memory is currently flooded with the visual cues of the new room. The kitchen counter, the fridge, and the lighting are actively blocking the old scene's memory network. To break the lock, you must physically turn around and walk back through the doorway into the previous room. Step back into the exact physical spot where you had the original thought. Look at the couch, sit down, and recreate your original posture. The moment you re-enter scene 1, something extraordinary happens inside your brain. The familiar visual cues of the living room instantly re-trigger the exact neural network that generated the original thought. The environmental context resurrects the purged working memory. And like magic, the lost thought instantly flashes back into your mind. The car keys. You are literally rewinding your brain's scene editor to restore deleted data. As you get older, the doorway effect can feel more frequent and alarming. People often worry it is an early sign of memory loss or cognitive decline. But psychological research shows the doorway effect occurs at virtually the same rate in 20-year-olds as in 70-year-olds. It is not a measurement of memory weakness. It is a measurement of your brain's structural organization. It is proof that your brain's scene editing software is working at peak efficiency. So the next time you walk into a room and stand there looking completely clueless, do not beat yourself up. Do not panic about your health. Smile and appreciate the ancient evolutionary survival system hardwired inside your skull. Your brain is simply closing scene 1, clearing the stage, and preparing you for the unknown world ahead. You are standing in the middle of your kitchen. You stare at the counter, and now you know exactly why the doorway stole your thought. You know that your memory isn't broken. You know that your brain was just trying to protect you. You turn around. You walk back through the doorway into the living room. You sit back down on the couch. You look at the cushion. The lost neural pathway lights up. The car keys instantly return to your mind. You smile, get up, and walk back with absolute confidence. You defeated the doorway effect. Your mind is no longer a mystery, and scene 2 can finally begin.